background. Look at my background. I feel like somebody's here trying to kill me.
Hey guys! So today I did my first fall look, which is this, and I'm obsessed with it. I usually never, ever, did I say ever wear dark shadow. I mean, for me this is pretty dark. For some people this might not be dark at all. But, yeah. I never wear dark eyeshadow, but I'm loving this right now, and I wanted to do something a little bit darker for fall, something out of my comfort zone. I just went to Taco Bell, so my lip probably looks a little bit different, a little bit lighter, a little bit faded, so I'm sorry about that. What is that? It's really freaking me out. Even Buddy went upstairs. Should I be concerned? Like there's gonna be like a mouse back there. And I'm gonna have to stand on top of this unsturdy table and probably break my neck.
Okay guys, so to start off, I'm using the Neutrogena Hydra Boost Moisturizing Gel. And I'm also just going to moisturize my lips with an EOS lip balm and sing to a little bit of Sierra. So I usually like to prep my skin with some sort of spray, so I'm using the Max Fix Plus. And then weirdly enough, I'm using my Nivea Men's Aftershave Balm because, you know, I never use that. And starting with foundation, I'm taking the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Foundation, putting it all over my face, and then blending it out with a damp beauty blender. And to conceal that spot that I have on my nose and around my mouth, which is a rule that I always preach to people, and this one time I decided to pop it, so I had to cover up the redness. So to cover these terrible dark circles, I'm using this new concealer, and it's the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer, and I've been loving it lately. I've just been wanting a little bit more coverage lately for some reason. I guess just the winter time or being in school just makes my dark circles worse, and usually my concealer doesn't last as long when the colder weather comes around, which you would think that wouldn't happen, but for some reason it just doesn't last on me. And because the concealer doesn't last on me all day, I take my Airspun loose powder and put a bunch of that underneath my eyes just to quote unquote bake it so that the concealer will stay put for the entire day. And then I'm also quickly taking a duo fiber stippling brush and just setting the rest of my face with whatever was left of the Airspun powder. Okay, so I'm sure you guys know by now that I'm not a big fan of contouring, so I just took the NYC Bronze Skin Bronzer, I believe. I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head. And taking the Real Techniques powder brush and putting it on my forehead and on my neck to make me have more color. And then for my brows, I'm taking the Anastasia Brow Wiz in soft brown and just filling them in, which I always go back to this. I can never find anything that's quite as good. The only downside is that this runs out really, really quickly on me, and it's pretty expensive. And using the Brow Stylist Plumper, I cannot speak like always, I'm using that to set my brows. Now we're starting with the eyes, and I'm using the Urban Decay Primer Potion and just putting that all over my eyes. Now I'm taking orange soda with this fluffy brush from Real Techniques, and I'm putting that all over my eye just to set the primer. I usually use a translucent powder, but I wanted to use this just in case if any blending went wrong. This was underneath to back it up. Now I'm using a Morphe palette, and this is Jacqueline's Favorites palette, and I'm taking that color right there that has like a reddish undertone to it with an E40 brush from Sigma, and I'm putting that in my crease and also bringing that slightly up because I do have slightly hooded eyes, so I like to give the illusion that my eyes aren't as small as they really are. Okay, so now I'm taking Beauty Mark by Anastasia on a small tapered brush. This is just a no-name brand, and I'm using that for the outer corner, and I'm just blending that in a circular motion and keeping it kind of in a triangle shape on the outer corner. And then I'm also going to be putting that color in the inner corner of the eye with a smaller brush and just packing that in the inner corner and leaving the middle of the eye bare. Okay, so here I'm going to be taking that color with no extra product and just putting that directly in the crease in back and forth motions. And basically this is just going to give the halo eye effect for when we put the lid shadow on the eye, if that makes any sense. And if it doesn't, you'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay, so the middle lid shadow that I'm using is Pink Champagne by Anastasia on an E55 brush, and I'm focusing that right in that bare spot. And basically the shadow that I put in my crease just now is going to help make that lid shadow pop out more and just kind of look like a halo effect, if that makes any sense. And if it doesn't, just look up pictures of halo eyeshadow looks and you'll see what I mean. I wanted to leave a few extra seconds into this clip, even though it's kind of long, just to show you that I keep going back in with different brushes and different shades until I feel that it's perfect. It doesn't look as easy when it's all edited and fast forward, but that's what I do. And now I'm going to wing out some liner, and I'm taking the Anastasia Jet Black liner, gel liner to be specific, and a fine winged liner brush. I'm sorry, it's like 3 in the morning, so I'm forgetting everything, but that's what I'm using. So now I'm taking the Real Techniques setting brush just to brush away all the extra powder. And I'm sorry that I'm so not energetic in this voiceover, but I'm so tired. So I apologize for that. Okay, so that powder can seem like a bit much, so I'm taking the MAC setting spray once again, and then taking the bronzer with an e.l.f. brush and just putting that on my cheeks, not specifically contouring, but just, you know, bring some color to my face. Taking Milani's Rose de Oro. I don't even know. Taking Milani's Rose de Oro blush and the cheek brush from Real Techniques. I'm just putting that on my cheeks, obviously. So for highlight, I'm going to use the Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette, and I'm taking the first shade in the palette with my tapered highlighting brush from Sigma, putting it on my forehead, on my nose, on my chin, and on my Cupid's bow. And no surprise, but I want the cheek highlight to stand out the most, so I'm taking Mary Luminizer by The Balm with a fan brush and just putting that on my cheekbones. So for the lower lash line, I'm taking a pencil brush from Sigma and taking the color Beauty Mark once again by Anastasia and just running that on my lower lash line. I'm popping on some natural demi wispies by Ardell, and then to blend my lashes in, I'm using a voluminous carbon black mascara by L'Oreal on the tops and bottoms of my lashes. Finally, for lips, I'm taking the color Mauve by NYX to line my lips. And introducing you Natalie's first liquid lipstick to her collection. I'm taking Lolita and putting that beautifully amazing color all over my lips. And since it is my first liquid lipstick, I'm not a master at applying this, so I'm taking a flat concealer brush from Real Techniques and my concealer quad from e.l.f. and just using that to clean up around my lips. And then this is a NYX soft lip cream in the color Nude, I believe. I don't remember. And I'm just putting that in the middle of my lips to lighten it. And that's the finished look, you guys. Oh, can't forget that setting spray. Once again, always overdoing it. But yeah, that's the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.